speaking of California, we have our very own hip hop, dope hip hop MCs. I had the pleasure to be at the downtown Santa Ana a couple weeks ago, GCS, celebrating 15 years in this beautiful city of Santa Ana. And I got the pleasure to meet these beautiful artists. They go by Bruxas Brew. Is that how I pronounce it?
Yeah.
Ladies, from left to right, can you introduce yourself?
What's up, y'all? My name is Zay.
Zay.
Sister Ire.
And I'm Kiddo.
And Kiddo, man. Kiddo. Ladies, how did you guys, first of all, how did you guys come up with the Bruxas Brew name? What was this about?
It was really, one of those nights where you're like, just got creative with it and we got together. It was really late at night. I just so happened to have gotten back from a long trip, so I was jet lagged, and Zay was like, hey, I'm going to Kiddo's to make a song. Do you want to roll?
It was already like 10:30. It was already late.
I think we pulled up to her house literally like at midnight. Yeah, and then we, after like an hour of like vibing out to beats and picking the song and picking the theme and going through like a couple of, verses and hooks. I don't know, at some point I was like, we've been brewing, and I was like, yeah, Bruxas been brewing. And it kind of goes with, Bitches Brew by Miles Davis that have been like brewing in my head. Like, oh, this be a cool little spin off that name, Bitches Brew, but Bruxas Brew, because we be brewing.
Davis. Yeah. And you guys, where were you coming from, if you don't mind me asking?
I was just arriving from South Africa.
South Africa?
Yeah, I got back from South Africa.
She be traveling. Both these girls be traveling.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, we're here, or we're here, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
that is super dope. And what year was it when you guys came up with
it? Was around 2019.
2019, right before COVID.
It was just great because we had come across each other many times, shows. I know they worked together. And she was somebody that I always thought was really dope. Me and Zay were already working on things. Yeah. And so that night, all three of us just coming together at the same time in the same place was just like magic. And that's part of the reason that we just were like, hey, this is we brewing something.
And it's like very true to our roots, like I think being from like a Chicana, like indigenous Mexican American standpoint, like, you always have the tias or the grandmas and there's talks of
shout out to the tias.
But I mean, in our aspect, like we like break the term down as like being a healer, and there's been multiple ways in which we like have come together with like different natural remedies, or like when we hang out, like we always like eat a bunch of fruit and like
have tea
and and like even medicinal stuff, medicinal things.
And I think also the like reclaiming of the word bruja, so it has no negative connotation, but rather goes back to its original meaning of connected to nature. As a woman, like we're affiliated with nature so much, and we're connected to that cycle so much. So putting that positive vibe of like Bruja Brew being something that you could actually vibe to and listen to and get familiar with, and not be afraid of that Bruja in you or the Brujo in you, you know what I'm saying? Because we make magic every day.
Yeah, it's like a term of endearment, because that was a word that was used in fear of culture.
It was. I didn't. My grandma would take me to Tijuana, and she would buy her stuff over there. Real talk.
Yeah.
And
my mom
she,
still
but it was for good.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I was raised by my grandma. She loved me so much, but
they're musical curanderas.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to Maria Sabina.
Yeah.
Salud to
So
that.
chanting, that was what I was going to say. It's like chanting is actually a medicinal way of healing your body because it has to do with sound frequency.
Oh, man.
So a lot of what I like to say
put
is
me in
like,
a trance, girl.
Right? Our music is like an encanto. That's why the first track that we dropped was like an enchantment, right?
Yeah.
So, and then everything else that we've been doing together has come together
Don't
in
sleep
that
on
kind
my
of
flow.
a way.
Don't sleep on my flow. Don't sleep on my flow.
Yeah, like a chant, right? And then most of what we're
saying.
doing is going to be very impactful and like super like, grabs your attention.
So how did that song come about? How did Encanto come around?
How did it?
Who chose
Shout
the
out
beat?
Python P.
We
Yeah,
had a
first
bunch
of all,
P.
Python from Pack Music, he's currently producing for Absol, and he just did, he does a lot of cool shit. So one of his artists is Yoshi Vintage, but we had beats like stacks of beats.
Yeah.
And so he happened to be the person that like stood out the most. So the next track we're dropping is also one of his beats. So Encanto, we just, I don't know how
that was probably the quickest hook I think that
we
you
came
up with.
Yeah, I came up with
it. was on the spot. She came up with that hook so quick, and we were like, "Yo, that's sick!" Immediately, just started writing to it, and it wrote itself. It's one of those songs that just wrote itself, you know?
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. I was about to say, like, with the whole aspect of this, like, you know, magical or incantation vibe. There was a time that we were at a show, and before or after we played that song, we were like, everybody, you know, salud. Drinks up, you know. I think somebody said buy us a drink, and after we got off the stage, everybody was buying us drinks.
I bet.
And I remember the homie.
Next time I'm gonna try and buy me a car.
The homie Tangent.
Pay my rent.
I need a whip.
The homie Tangent Wiggy was like, shout out to him. He was like, it's like you really put them under an enchantment, and they started just buying you drinks. I was like, hey.
And you ladies did that at GCS.
Thank you.
I'm
Shout out
telling
GCS, man.
Like you guys turned spectators into fans that day.
Yeah.
For reals. No lie. I get DMs about having you ladies, and I'm like, you know what?
Wow.
I'm just barely getting to know them, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, they rocked the show. They did a great job. And even producers that were there, you never know who's there. And people are just falling back, and they're just taking notice. So that was a beautiful show. My brother was in Arizona at that weekend, but if he would have witnessed this, he would have been like, okay, I see what you're saying.
It was
dope, right?
I walk by there every day.
Yeah.
Like maybe 3 times a week, I walk through there.
They did their thing, Cookster. They did their thing.
I know they did.
It was amazing, man. It was really dope.
Thank you.
How do you guys know Hector from GCS?
We've been doing shows with him, at least me and Zay too.
For years.
I just knew him when he was still in Alhambra.
In
I met
Alhambra,
I have a homegirl named Nayla who was on 2Mex's label when she used to rap back in the day. And the first time I ever got to know GCS was when they were on Valley. And she had a show there.
In Alhambra.
And I was in. And I was like, after that, I just knew about the shop. And then it moved. And just, honestly, we're just grateful that there's still space like that.
It's so dope. I know them from Pomona.
Yeah, they went in Pomona.
They went to Alhambra. They went from Pomona to Alhambra, and now they're in SA.
Yeah.
They're like a family affair. One of my cousins used to rock with GCS back in the day and knew Hector and Jenny. And then when I started doing music, they saw that I would do shows there, and my cousin was like, "Oh shit! Like those are like the homies from back in the day." And like
I tell people, show up, go over there, go support.
It's such a small world too and it's awesome that shout out to them because I think very far and few locations have been around for that long to supply that type of community network. Honestly, and it feels cool, like it feels chill. It doesn't feel like there's too much going on. There's no like pressure to really watch the shows or be inside or outside. It's just, and it's dope to see people doing live art like that.
You ladies brought them in though.
Thank you.
You ladies brought them in.
It was fun.
It was so much fun, and it was just like a blink of an eye, and I was all
and
like,
then we were like, poof,
they were out of there,
and it was poof. Yes,
gone. Exactly. It happens a lot.
I know. I was gonna say it earlier, but one of my first sets that I ever did was there, and then it was a set that I was barely getting into, and barely rehearsing and barely getting in, and just finding what works for me. Right. And Kiddo was there. And it was years ago.
What
I think
year
it was
that?
2018.
2018.
It was 2018.
I was still pretty fresh too.
And well, it was it wasn't one of my favorite sets, and it was just like it didn't feel organic, and I was like, you know what? I went through it. It was street hip hop, and that's who I am. It's like I can't fake the funk. It's who I am, and look a little G'd up. You know what I mean? But I'm a mama's boy, and I told my homeboy that we did the set, and I was like, you know what? It's not really me. I feel like I needed to apologize for what was then.
Right.
And he was like, no, man, just that was you back then. This is you now. And when I was performing this last time, I turned around to my right and I saw Kiddo, and I remembered her. Guess what, Kiddo? I remember that one time I performed, and I felt like I kind of, not J. Cole moment, but I felt like, you know what? I was just like, so I was like, you know what? I turned it up and people embraced it. This new set that I did at GCS. So shouts out to Hector, man. It was
great. You had a great set that day. And I wanted to say that about them too, is they provided the same experience for me, because when I first did a show with, it was like my first year of performing. So I was really fresh. I was really new. Didn't really have my vibe together yet, you know, so they provided a space for me and a lot of other people to like sharpen our skills and get comfortable in front of a crowd. And it's a comfortable space. That was the first time I ever performed outside like that, like during the art walk and everything. That was a different experience. So it was amazing to see that.
It was crazy. So I told my homeboy, he was there, and I told him how upset I was kind of at myself. I was like, man, I let myself down, but boom, 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 boom. It's not about me. But this new set, and then he saw you ladies, and he was all like, they're fucking dope. And I was like, I actually know her from the last time I saw her was here. And I was telling him about that one set, because I rearranged my whole set because of that one time, sharpening my tools, sharpening like how we interact with the everybody that's there. Then I wouldn't call them fans, but the supporters that are there.
Right.
Yeah. So that leads me to this question. When you ladies perform, how do you guys interact with the people that are there? How do you bring them in?
I think, honestly, so the thing is about our group, too, is that we are all individual artists, too. So we all have like a heavy background in performing. I think one of the skills that we already naturally bring as artists is having a good skill set. But, I mean, at the same time, it's like when you're playing basketball, like, it's very easy to mesh, but also there's times where you're going to trip over each other's laces, you know? And there's times where we have to do that with microphones, as you've seen at shows, you know? So I think, though, we recently rehearsed very heavily for a set with Nug Life. Shout out Nug Life.
Shout out to Essa DJ.
Shout out to DJ Essa. And
DJ Essa. Yeah, I know.
And we'll talk about more of the stuff we got coming up with, you know, shows and stuff. But I think when we really, really rehearse our butts off, our set is seamless, you know? So I think it's a combination of, one, already having that experience under our belt.
Being seasoned.
Yeah, being very seasoned. And also, too, just having, like, chemistry on stage, you know?
I like how you ladies
how to improvise.
did that on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
That was like a window into you ladies. Like, I caught it, and I was like, this is so fucking dope. They're rehearsing, and you let everything there.
Yeah.
You know, and you guys, wait, hold on. And you know, it was just a window to you girls. And it was like fucking dope. It was very artistic.
Thank you for that, because I feel like that's how it is on stage. It's like we all have that natural chemistry, and just learning how the other works, you know, on stage. We're very quick to like pick things up when somebody needs a mic switch or whatever. Like we've kind of learned that part of it, you know, and a lot of the thing about it is we just have fun together.
It really is like a brew.
We have fun together. Yeah, so I think that's like
because
the main.
We have different sounds too. Like we
when
all
you
bring
girls started flowing and then you started singing, I was like, I got goosebumps.
Yeah, we're all coming from like a part of like different angles of the hip hop culture in general. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we have such, like she said, we're seasoned, but we also have such great musical like backgrounds in our family life too. Like, you know, our parents have all been somehow influenced by different genres of music heavily. So as kids, we were already also super into the
natural.
music. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, in a way.
So I'm like, man, it was like, why are you switching it up now? It's just who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk to me about Coyote Ugly, the next one.
See,
Did we get it?
That's why we call that, because every time we find something fire, we be like, ooh, this is dope.
Yeah, that track is dope to me. It's like one of the best examples of our lyricism and how we combine our styles.
Yeah,
you know, like on some ninja shit, really. Like, because it was mind you, we also do write in the studio together, but most of the time we'll choose a beat and then we'll come together and finish the songs together so that they seem seamless, right? But we have some ideas, and sometimes we'll come up with them right there on the spot. But this particular one, we hadn't really told each other what we were going to write about. We just said, like, we're just going to say, talk your shit. Talk your shit. And this came up, and when we heard each other, we're like, damn, bro. Like, big ups, like big up over here, and big
Shout out
up
to
over
Python
here.
P too once again on that one.
On that.
Sometimes
beat.
it takes the beat to bring that out of you too, because you want to show like that you're at that level. You feel me? Like we deserve to have these producers that have this outstanding sound that is very unique and very just cutthroat. You know what I'm saying? Cut to the chase with it.
I'm looking at the artwork. Who designed it? Who came up with the artwork?
All of us.
All of us came up with it.
I mean, I see the nails.
It's an interesting just little story about that, just because we were in the studio recording this. And if you can tell, there's like the Mona Lisa, and there's like some weed on there, and there's some flower petals. And that was literally a tray of bud that we had with the Mona Lisa in the background.
Yeah.
And we got the little Bruxas brew with the flower petals that we like to, mix up into the herb. And we were just like, wow, this looks so sick. Took a picture of it with the cell phone.
Yeah.
And then we had some other pictures of our, our hands, our little aesthetics, and just put it all together. And then we had the homegirl.
Amethyst.
Shout out Amethyst.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She added some little things to it.
Yeah.
But
Stepped in for the lettering.
definitely collabo.
Yeah, it was really dope.
Shout out to Danny Zico. I think he took the picture.
Yeah.
We were recording at his studio, and we honestly don't get to hang out that much anymore. So anytime we can, we're like, okay, what do we have to do in this session?
Yeah.
Like today, we have to do promo for a show we're coming up to
That's
after.
so fucking hard to do, though.
It is.
Because you have to handle your business.
Oh, absolutely.
Away from it, and most of the time I'm like, dude, I'm life is life.
Yeah, and mind you, we're all holding down solo stuff too. Zay has her stuff, I have my stuff, Kiddo has her stuff. So it's like there's like a 4 personality, 4 different types of things going on. The Brujas stuff, and then our individual stuff.
But yeah.
That's crazy. I'm rooting for you ladies so much.
Thank you.
I love it.
That song is gonna be dropping on the 5th. On all DSPs.
Cinco de
Brujas.
What?
And
Sunday.
yeah, dude, that
Next Sunday.
Yeah,
I know.
next Sunday.
Next week.
A week from today.
And then we have it. So I think people are gonna get there.
Cookster?
People are gonna get that.
We're gonna get into Coyote Ugly.
World premiere.
Yes.
Shit. Let's get into it. Hits 101 Radio Sunday School Show. My brother Cookster. We're gonna get into Coyote. Produced by
Python P.
Python
Big
P,
Bucko.
man.
Big Bucko. Shout out Big Bucko.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Brujas Brew right here, man. Sunday School Show, still authentic. With the ladies, Brujas Brew.
Yeah.
Hey.
I love the claps, yo. That's a great little soundbite right there.
Shouts out to C-Bar.
Hey, say y'all got roots in DR.
Hey.
Let's go, man. Shouts out to the all the supporters out there, man.
Absolutely.
Ladies, man. We listened to a few of the tracks, Encanto, and then also Coyote Ugly. And the one in the middle was a collab that you guys did. You guys ladies were featured on the track. What was it?
Nug Life. It's called Elements.
Elements. It's on the new, shout out to Nug Life. It's on the new Nug Life 2024 album. That whole album from start to finish is like
No
ridiculous. No
And
skip. Press
dope.
play album for
Just
sure.
press
I'm
play.
gonna have to add it.
Yep.
I'm gonna have
Definitely
to add
should.
it, man. And speaking of Addie, man, ladies, you ladies you guys were at the Top Fest, right?
Top
I'm
Fest?
looking
Thought
at
Fest? Yeah, the Thought Fest. Yeah.
Shout out 60.
We've been there a couple of times as solo artists and as Brujas Brew. Yeah, shout out to 60 for sure.
Hey, shouts out. Talk to us about it and speak on it.
The Happiness of Pursuit Festival came about.
The Happiness of Pursuit.
Yeah, I love that. I actually love the name of it because
Yeah.
it's literally
What
the
we
happiness of pursuing your dreams, you know?
Mhm.
So the homie 60, he's like an independent artist and he came up with it and
He's
he
in the IE,
got
right?
him,
This
yeah,
year?
in the IE in Ontario at Firewater Bar. Shout out to Firewater. We've been
I know,
there a bunch
man.
of times.
I
And we
know
love
the
that
Firewater.
spot.
Kind of sketchy neighborhood though.
Hey, but we make it happen.
I know.
So,
I'm down the
but-
street. I know that area.
Yeah, he decided to start his own. He was inspired by our boy Merce, who we also love. Merce is a big, he's
Shout out
a
Uncle
big.
Merce.
Yeah, exactly, Uncle Merce and my cousin, my friend.
Shouts
But
out
anyway,
to Merce.
that's my fam. But he got inspired by Paid Dues to do his own, concert, and thought the Happiness of Pursuit was what we came up with. And since the initial I guess the start of it, he's just been having this dream of like bringing that music to the IE, independent artists to the IE.
It's growing.
And he's really, really he puts his heart and soul into it. And we just always love to support it. We love to watch the growth of the artists that we've come up with, that we've watched from just, like I said, like Kiddo, I was a fan of her stuff. I was a fan of Zay's stuff, and they had heard of me. So like knowing each other and having been around each other a lot and being able to support whoever comes up. Like even now he has, Noah James has a stage.
Shouts out to Noah James.
Right, Noah dropped an album. She's on it. And then Merce has a Groundwaves, has also a stage. So like it's dope to see this come to life every year and get bigger and more popular.
And bigger, yeah.
It's you like when you see the homies win, you feel me? That's what it feels like. So it is the happiness of pursuit.
And it's one of those things that you guys are evolving with your artistry, and you guys are evolving with what you want to do. And it's like, wow, I always knew you had it, kiddo. I always knew you had it. And you're just seeing it, and you're on stage, and you're like growing and growing, and it's a beautiful thing. And shouts out to Noah James. I did a show with Cesar Rodriguez, the Rodriguez show, and that's where I got to meet him.
Nice.
So I started following, and I'm like, oh shit, hell yeah. And that's when I started.
Exactly.
The IE staple.
It's definitely a milestone performing on a festival like that, because no matter what stage you're on, it's full of people.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you grew up or came up in the era of like Pay Dues, Rock the Bells, because for me as an artist, that was my first hip hop show ever. It was like Pay Dues Festival.
Yeah.
And so the essence of music, the essence of hip hop in that like space is incredible. So it was really sad to see that, hip hop was Pay Dues was discontinued.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Even hearing Merce say that this is like the new Pay Dues, so I feel like it's a milestone for a lot of artists to be on that stage.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I know they open up the doors to Rhythmatic and the OGs in the game, the DJs. One of my fellow friends, a real good friend, is DJ Fuse, and he's on the Cruise show on 92.3,
Nice.
the real 92.3, and he tells me like, hey man, like the ins and outs of things, and he tells me like, hey man, I can't wait for your music to break through, for I could be able to play you on this platform. And we're like that though.
Yeah.
How do you ladies feel about crossing over? How do you ladies feel about like your music? Because your music, it does come from our ancestry. I hear it, and it comes something like we were saying, earlier,
Ancestral.
like our families be playing it, so it does have that kind of commercial thing, and but we're so organic and we're so deep rooted.
Yeah.
How do you ladies feel like the crossover and not losing who you are?
I feel like it's doable now, because I feel like so many people are able to like really take this independent shit and make it something of their own. Like, I mean, we've been fortunate enough to like going back to the IE, we've been able to work with someone like Curtis King, who just pulled all their music off DSPs. Like it's kind of crazy to see how much working independently can work for you. Like you have somebody who like isn't necessarily my favorite, but like Doja Cat, who used to do Bananas in Leimert Park and is now performing at Coachella and doing the main stage. Like you can take it wherever you want now, I feel. And I feel like you don't need that loan from a big independent company anymore. Like I've seen people sell, like do bank off pre-sales for stuff or do NFT work, and they're able to really kind of take that crossover, but not so much in a sense where it's like you're selling your soul to a label. I feel like now too, it doesn't even matter what label you're on if you got things like Spotify and iTunes making you have like over how many types of spins to actually get paid, So it's like at the end of the day, there are going to be people who rock with you and who will get you to that point of like almost like a crossover. But like, I think that also depends on the artist. And I think with how the three of us work, I don't know like how that would work as if if Drake came up to us tomorrow and we're like, yo, I'm offering you guys $5 million to do this with me, I would still kind of be like, I don't know, because are we even?
Could you bring them in though? Could you be you on the on a Drake record?
To be authentic still, and I think we're in a beautiful time right now where it's like as much as pop culture is still pop culture. Not only do we have a lot of great mentors who have been on both sides of the fence, you know, we have we're working with some really great people who understand both the independent and both, you know, the label aspect of things, A&R type stuff. Being authentic can really take you far, you know, with just the age of the internet, you know, just us being ourselves.
Right. Being authentic should really be the only selling point at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's like, if the purpose of your music is to reach many, many ears, there's going to be a point where you need support for that. And the reality of it is,
you
like,
do need support.
We all ended up, you know, understanding that the revolutionizing of music and streaming is in the process currently, right now, as we speak. Because you have people like La Russell, your Nipsey's, you have your independent artists that made it without that backing and having to sell their soul, so to speak, whatever that you know, whatever that shit means. But to me, it's like you can never sell your soul.
I need to get in your ladies' emailing list.
All right.
I need like you know, the ladies put it all together. I'll join your emailing list because I need to stay up on you ladies.
Yeah,
honestly,
sure. Go ahead. What I was gonna say was like, and we're really trying to package what we have in the most unique way, because we are unique artists and we are providing something that is very in its own lane.
Where do you hear what we do?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like, where do you hear the type of music that we
Exactly.
make?
No disrespect to other females. No disrespect.
I was going to say that because we haven't even dropped a full project yet.
At all.
And we've been performing since 2019.
Look at the wave you created, though.
On Thought Fest,
I'm saying.
you know, on some pretty big deal shows, and it's been amazing. So the fact that, like, I feel like that speaks for itself. You know, there's as an artist, there's an audience for everybody. You know, so whether you want to cross over into, you know, the limelight, or if you want to stay low key and independent, authentic,
I
there's so
think
much
you
room.
ladies could pull people in from the. I mean, it's a dope option.
And I feel like there's no rule book anymore. Like, to bring in the homie. You know, we've been on Hits 101 multiple times, and I think we've even won. But like Papes, like Pretty Papes.
Yeah, shouts out to Pretty Papes.
They threw out a song. What is that song? Boomin', you know, like that. They threw that song on a whim, and that song went viral like overnight, essentially. So you could potentially, you know, there's people like Steve Lacy who recorded off of his phone on GarageBand and like almost won a Grammy off of that album. Or like you'll have people who are just fucking around on an MP, and then that's like the #1 viral song on TikTok. You know, so I feel Nug actually gave me a book, and it's about like the new way to make it in the current, you know, music stream and like, or music scene. And I don't think that there is like any wrong or right way. But there are people, you know, who do sign and do get a bunch of bands and like blow the money. And, you know, and in reality, I think if we were ever presented something like that, we would know exactly what to do with that money, to how to invest that back in ourselves and make it blow up.
And who we would say yes to off top, right? Because like, I'm not letting fucking Diddy sign me for shit, bro. You feel me? I don't give a fuck if fucking he calls tomorrow. It's like, I heard your shit. I'm thinking, nah, fuck you. Get up. Yeah, I have to be very mindful of the fact that, like, when I talk about being a bruja and doing enchanting and spells and all that,
ladies are bigger than
I'm
that.
very real about that, right? And so, like, the energy that it carries through, it would have to be some, you know, something like a Sub Pop or Stone's Throw, or I don't know. Kendrick started his own label and heard our shit. Kendrick Lamar, Brew. You feel me? Something like, who knows? Anybody that can come up and be like, hey, I like what you do. I'm not gonna fuck with y'all. I'm gonna put money in your pocket and I'm gonna let you do your thing. And because when you are an artist and you're independent, you have multiple freaking streams coming at the same time. Fuck the streams that you're trying to get on Spotify. You have to have multiple streams of income to even continue to survive as an artist, right? And that's
I want to wear some Brujas Brew gear.
There you go. Hey, anybody out there want to help us out with gear? You know, we definitely. Some and the thing that I liked, and that's why I named Nipsey, was when he came out with, you know, Crenshaw. It was a whole like marketing behind it. It was the ticket that you got to the concert. It was you get to meet and greet him. You get the album. You get the first presses of whatever, and you get the T-shirt and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point in time, to get a really good footing in where you can be financially independent and continue to support yourself as an artist, you need to have that kind of a innovation and that kind of drive to step into the, you know, the NFTs, to step into the whatever brings new music. Because didn't Drake just use AI to sell some fucking Tupac's lyric? Like,
oh my God.
that to me is all these things are coming up, and it's like, I don't want to be angry at it. I want to work with it and wonder how far I can get as an artist, we can get as artists individually, where we're just being so strategic with it. It's no longer checkers because I'm not getting ate up by nobody. It's chess because I'm a fucking bruja. You feel me? So I'm playing chess with music and knowing that everything that I put out has an energy behind it. So I want to keep that energy at a point where it reaches the right people.
I applaud you, ladies. Do we have a name for the project yet?
Man,
are we
probably some self-titled
I was
shit.
about to say that. Most
some
likely
self-titled shit, so people get to know the
Brew
name.
Has Brew LP. It's the Brew Has Brew, you know,
probably some self-titled shit. Because right now we're like about 5-6 songs deep
so
into
dope,
it.
Though.
Yeah,
it's so dope. Like once you embrace like that, it's a good thing. Like you just fucking fall in love with it.
Thank you.
I'm saying.
Going back to the homage that we paid to Miles Davis, you know, I feel like we have so much range with what we're doing.
Yes.
Like it's hard to just put it in one box or one label.
It's hard to encapsulate.
Yeah, it really is.
I feel too that we had, you know, recently talked about the fact that at some points it doesn't feel fun, you know, and I think that's what makes it harder to do because I feel like a lot of people don't know this, but some of the songs that we recently released were recorded and created a very long time ago. I'm talking
we've been
like,
working on
like
stuff
for a very long time, and I think it's just more so the like, fuck it, do it. In
just
school,
put it out.
In school, we have this term called "eat the frog," and it's like just tackle the hardest thing first and put it out. You know, and I think one of the things in that book that I read was that artists work backwards now. They do the music video, they get the artwork, they do the photo shoots, they do all that, and the song's not even done. You know, and I feel it's a very hard medium, right? Because I do come from, you know, a previous label where it was like the rollout, you know, it's you got to get everything prepped at least 2 quarters before, but it's also like, I don't want to do that all the time. Like, why should I have to follow this timeline and not just release stuff when I want to release it? And I've had other people on my ear, like Lisa J. Shout out to Lisa J. from, you know, Brick to Your Face, just be in my ear, like, just drop it. Just drop the song. And like, even what are you waiting on? Just drop it.
Even with Curtis gave us such good advice, bro. Just like, you know, just understanding that, like, it's... Who's gonna listen to it if it stays in your computer?
Yeah.
Who's gonna listen to it if it stays in a hard drive? Who's gonna really know that you have hot fire to spit? You feel me? Like, so he gave us that tip, the bit of like, just put it out and see where it goes, where it takes you.
And we haven't even gotten to the personal records yet.
Right.
Ooh.
I know they're there. I know because I be following you ladies
Yeah.
and I be watching you ladies individually, and I know there's so much there. And if we're talking about past tense and we're talking about what's been happening from 3 years ago to now.
Yeah.
Even our solo stuff. All of us are working
goodness.
on solo stuff, and that's years in the making as well.
Yeah.
So that don't even count for the new.
She just dropped some dope stuff with Noah
I'm not
James.
saying nothing.
Yeah, shout out to Noah James. Shout out to Noah James.
You guys have to tune into it. Speak on that track. I know they have to go and listen to it though.
Yes. They have to go and listen to it.
Go get him to be
please,
majestic.
the whole album is amazing. I think it's Noah James's best work, honestly, in my opinion.
It's a
Literally,
dope
I think
cover
it is
art,
too.
It takes you on a journey, an entire journey, and I love Noah James so much for the fact that he is like actively transmuting things in his music and inspiring people to do the same, and it's like it's healing music.
Yeah.
It's okay to have feelings.
Absolutely.
It's
We
dope
all
to
have fucking come on now.
It's absolutely
Just stop
okay to
acting
be
like you don't got
I just
feelings.
look like a
alright?
cholo.
It's a crazy ass world we live in, and we're all going through shit and adapting to it, and it's hard times, you know.
And the fact that we could still make music out of it, like I love that quote that Nina Simone says, where it's like, "What is the purpose of an artist if not to tell you the current times.
The eyes don't lie, and I'm looking across you ladies, and I love it. You know, I'm embracing everything about it, and it's not just the brew that you ladies put on me.
Yes.
Good Brujas brew.
We need our own beer. Anybody out there want to make a Bruja brew?
It's been in the making.
Tap in if you like a blonde taste. If you like this, start making
let us
it.
know.
Whatever we have,
whatever we do. Honestly, too, like I think that's another aspect that could potentially be helpful now as an artist. Is there's always going to be investors, but like if you really like have people who see the potential in you and rock with you like that, there's always going to be room for investments. People are always looking for a return of investment, you know, and I've learned that. And honestly, too, just to like kind of brush up on the stuff that we're dropping, I think as a group, it's always a little harder to just come to the terms of like, all right, what are we dropping? When are we doing it? You know, because
coming along,
you know, because you also want to be able to include everybody's personality and everybody's, you know, wants and schedules, you know. But I think it really just depends on
how bad do you want it?
Yeah, how bad do you want it, honestly, you know? And I think that one thing that we've all learned from doing this long, both in groups, I mean, Kiddo and I used to, you know, we come from a different background with music. Irie does too, where we've been in groups before. And I mean, we've all done some pretty amazing things. Go to Europe, you know, rock freaking really big festivals. But I think at the end of the day, too, it's like, how much music are you dropping every year? How much? I can do 100 shows a year, but if I only drop 3 tracks, what do those 100 shows even matter? You know? So I think one thing that we're doing right now as artists is just taking the plunge, jumping straight in and head forward. And I think that's the risk that a lot of artists are scared to take.
Well, I'm seeing the reward.
Yes.
I'm seeing the reward. I'm sitting in front of you ladies. Upcoming shows and how could they get a hold of you ladies?
May 11th, another Cremstock. Shout out to Cremstock. So the funny story behind that is that the homie Merce was actually rocking the first Cremstock, and he hit me up and was like, hey, the homie needs more women to come rock a show. So again, shout out to my big bro Merce. He just understanding like the fact that there's not enough balance in the, you know, the word and the world of hip hop. So it's like giving us that you know, that
and you ladies demand your respect.
Right. Thank you.
You guys demand it in a very, very, very good way. Though.
Yeah. Thank you.
You guys are not obscene about it.
There's definitely a presence that's felt, with the name.
I'm trying to find...
even the name itself, like I told you, just getting some reactions from the name itself is always interesting because everybody has a different take on why we decided to name the group Brujas.
Some people are not down. Some people be like, oh, y'all.
What are you doing? What is that brujeria
We're going to be at Saturday, May 11th with Cremstock at the Slipper Clutch in downtown LA. It's $5 cash at the door. It will also be 60 East LA album release with his debut album, My Hometown. Shout out to DJ Essa, Lord King the Messiah, Robles the One.
Yeah, Essa again.
That's going to be the 11th, so...
I know. Caesar, can you hook me up
May
with
19th,
DJ Essa? Get her here.
Yeah, we got you if you need that. We shout out to Essa because she goes. We're gonna connect her.
I'm sorry,
but on May 19th we're gonna be at the Rhythms of the Village in Altadena.
Yes,
and that's a cool one. Yeah, that's like a little.
That's more family friendly. Bring the
kids, all that. Yeah,
vegan food.
Definitely. Yeah, I love that little. We love playing for the youth. Honestly, they get a vibe. You know, we do sometimes our PG version of stuff, but they get the vibe. And
they hear Encanto and they're like,
Disney. And they love. My personal formula is if a kid loves it, it's gonna be radio friendly. So it's like if I see kids and they're like, and they come up to us. We've done People's Cafe out here out in Whittier, and the kids came up to us right afterwards.
Yeah, and they were just about to say that's the greatest blessing, and that's like a confirmation for me of my music personally, and our music is like if the babies are feeling it, can't nobody tell me shit.
Yeah,
we had some shows where they came up and asking for autographs and giving us candy, giving us stuff.
We don't get like that. I don't give the tips, but we get the candy.
Whoever wants to hate can hate, but if the babies love us,
that's all that matters.
The hip hop is for the babies. You know, we're doing something right.
Let's get some merch together because I'm telling you, everywhere you go, ladies, it's you ladies are a universe in your own.
Thank you.
You know, and
I love
that's
that.
really dope.
We
man.
are a
So,
universe.
ladies and gentlemen,
Supernova, turn
any
me
shouts out before we dip out?
Man. Shout out
Definitely.
Drasto.
To my brother Drasto, because he also
Hey.
produced some stuff for us. But Big Bucko, Python from Pack Music, all the family at Pack Music, shout out to them. All the family at the Firewater and the Thought Fest, 60 East, all of them out there. Everybody in the IE, Noah, you know, Curtis.
Shout out Danny Zico for
Zico
recording for
Coyote
this.
Ugly
Professor
and mixing it.
Galactico.
Galactico, who's also helped us. There's so many people that have been a part of the brewing that have also given us that space.
We marinated.
Yeah, we've
Hell
been
yeah.
marinating for a while. And they also tell us the same, like, yo, y'all got something.
I'm saying,
It's magical. Just keep going. So
ladies need to
anybody
bring
who's
it
ever,
here
thank you.
when it's ready.
Yeah. Whenever,
Ladies.
whoever supported us through this process, Vel 9 put us on our first show.
Shouts
we were
out
out
to
here
Vel
in
9.
Fullerton. Vel 9's been my homegirl for years. And just
shout out
having
Velly.
that cosign from somebody that's been doing it, is successful at it, is stayed independent, has grown to like up heights as an artist individually, that feels great. So Merce, again, anybody that has given us a space, shout out, or shown us love, or told people about us, we love y'all. We continue to support any local, you know, venues, any local places, anything to do with family events.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, the breweries. All the breweries hit
Come
us
on
up,
now.
bro.
Yes.
We're trying to
Tap
get a
in.
brew.
Be
We're
sure to
trying to get
follow
a
us.
brew how brew up in here.
So
Follow
when we
us.
come back, I want to when you ladies drop your album, I want to see if we could get a brew going.
Hey,
Let's see if we can get a brew
Okay,
going.
okay.
Let's
we
put
gotta
it
talk
out
about
there.
that. We put it in
Let's
the
speak
universe.
it into existence.
Let's do it.
Hits 101 Radio, Sunday School Show, still authentic. Brew
Yes.
House Brew.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Thank
We
you
out
so
this
much.
piece.
Thank you.
One.
Peace.